All right, guys. So happy Thursday. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm all like prepped and ready to go. It's been a little like crazy behind the scenes, but I am ready and here for you guys today. So I am glad to have you on board. I've got some modifications to my setup after last week. So my comments are right here in front of my face. If I'm looking up just a little bit, that's because my comments are right there. And then I shouldn't hopefully have to look off to the side anymore, which is really awesome. And I move my lights around, so hopefully everything looks okay when I'm showing you close-ups, and we'll just see how today goes. Fingers crossed that we don't have any technical difficulties. I was out on Instagram a couple of days ago with Altenew, and right at the very end, I had a technical moment, and I was like, no! But hopefully today we won't have that issue. So hi, Sue. Hello, Ms. Tamp. So nice to see you both out there. Hello, Cece. So glad you are able to join us today. I know it's getting late out there in Europe, so I'm glad you guys are here. So today we are continuing our journey with the Build-A-Flower Begonia. You know, the stamp. We've used this so much. I feel like this stamp set is well loved now. And I can set it aside for next month's stamp and really feel like I got a ton of use out of it. So thank you to everyone that has been following along and using the projects as inspiration and creating your own and sharing them. So just a couple of reminders. Don't forget to share out on social media. I am at Pixel Mavens Retreat everywhere. So you can share out on Instagram, on Pinterest, on YouTube, on Facebook. I will find you. Just use that hashtag or that @ name, and I will find you. Or you could use hashtag Pixel Mavens Retreat or hashtag PM Retreat, and I'll find you there too. That'll work. Don't forget to click on the thumbs up here, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit that little bell and you'll get reminders when I go live and when I have new videos for you. And also hit that little share button and share me out on your social media channels so that other people can find us and join us. Because as you know, the more people we have, the more fun it is. So I always love to have a big crowd here, and the more the merrier, right? So let's share the love of stamping and crafting with each other and have a great time. No, I was not behind the badge this afternoon with Altenew. That was probably Nicole Picadura. So yeah, it's a little confusing now that we have two Nicoles and we spell our name the same, and we know each other from our past Stampin' Up! Lives together. So it's kind of funny. She's Korean. I'm of Korean descent and I am not. So that's like the only way to, to tell us about. Oh, and she actually works for Altenew, and I do not. I do. I'm a designer for them, but she's an employee with Altenew. So anyway, so yeah, Nicole Picadura, she's really awesome. Oh, okay, cool, Cece. I will have to check out what you tagged me with. I try not to, while away the days on social media because you get sucked in, but I do obviously stop out there and check out things kind of on a daily basis. But anyway, it looks like things are running really smoothly so far. So let's get started. Today we're going to do more, of course, with the Build-A-Flower Begonia, but today we're going to do some Christmas things because it is July and I like to start thinking about the holidays. So I know some of you were like, how are we going to turn this into Christmas? Well, it's pretty easy. You just pull out a couple different sentiments and some different color schemes, and you'll end up with something like this. So super, super pretty and screams Christmas, right? So of course, if you didn't want to say Merry Christmas, you could swap out the sentiment and do Happy Holidays. So our second project is actually going to be a tag. Now this tag you could put out on a card if you wanted to. It could just be an element of the card, and you could do it that way if you didn't have a need for tags. But I thought we would do a couple different little looks here. Okay, so Heidi, what's for dinner? Maybe I'll come over. I don't even know where you live. Anyway, hey, so I'm going to flip down, and I'm so on it today. I do have our sketch for today. So this is a new sketch. So basically with this card here, you can see that we've got the large border with a couple little dots up here, and then our little strips and the circle area. So that's kind of how I'm interpreting this sketch. And then this one, I just condensed the whole thing together. So I've got like the two little lines in the circle. It's all just kind of condensed. So, but I use that sketch as an inspiration. So new sketch, and I've got to get these things out on Instagram and on Pinterest, so that way you can save them and use them for reference. And I'll put out, like I said, I want to create a page on my blog that has these for reference as well. So the to-do list, it just like keeps getting longer and longer. So please have some patience with me, and I will get these things out for you guys, and so you'll have access to them. Okay. Ooh, zucchini fries with turkey burger. Everyone, dinner at Heidi's house. Sounds fantastic. All right. So let's get started. We'll do the card. Actually, we're gonna stamp both of these at the same time, and then we'll do the card, and then we'll do the tag. So I'll set the tag aside plus the tag pieces, and we'll go from there. Okay. So what am I pairing with our Build a Flower today? So we've got the Build a Flower Begonia, and then for the stencil in the background, we're using the Mod Circles by scrapbook.com. It is a great stencil. Can you see that? Yes, you can see that. So it's a really, really fun stencil. And then we're going to throw in some enamel dots. Did you see Altenew came out with new enamel dots? I was not a part of that release. It had stencils in it, and May, she coordinates all of the design team stuff. She missed my request, and I didn't get anything for the release. So I had to buy it all myself, and it'll be here tomorrow. But yeah, so new enamel dots from Altenew and stencils that I'm really excited about. So anyway, and then, okay, so enamel dots, pulling in some of the old ones from Greenfields. And then the sentiments that I got is this cute little sentiment set from scrapbook.com. It's called Heartfelt Christmas. And it's got great greetings on it, but the Happy Holidays is all one stamp. So I've done some stamp surgery and just cut it at Happy and Holidays, so I can offset them and do them differently, however I want. So this is how we're going to get Christmas out of our Build a Flower. Okay. So let's see. Paula says that she's having pork chops. So you have a choice. You can do turkey burgers at Heidi or pork chops at Paula's. And if you're going to Paula's, be ready for a plane ride because she's over in the UK. Okay. So let's get some stamping done. So really, I think that just about any floral stamp set could be used for the winter, Christmas, holidays, because it really just depends on how you treat it with a sentiment or with the colors that you choose. So really, there's just a ton of different ways that you can use your floral stamps for all seasons. Okay, so for this one, the color choices really help make it Christmassy. So I'm using a Kraft cardstock. This is from Fawn. And then this red is from Hero Arts. I think it's called Cranberry. It's in the description below. So you've got all that information down there for you. So, you know, pulling in Kraft and red, of course, just screams Christmas. Okay, so I've got my piece here, and I'm going to do 2 flowers because I'm going to need one for each of my projects. And for the card, I need a full one. And for the tag, I'm going to do some cutting off. So if I can't fit a second one on here completely, that's okay. All right, so black and Kraft color always goes well together. So I thought I would do the outline in black because we're going to pull in some more black as well. So doll this up with the Obsidian black. And see, this one isn't going to fit completely. So I just need to, I'm just going to kind of cut off the edge here. And that's okay, because I don't need the whole thing. All right. So what's new, guys? I tell you, I have really been struggling lately with my creative mojo. which is real drag when I have projects to finish and things like that. And I've been struggling a little bit with my video making, so it's just not been a great week with either of those things. Maybe today will be a turning point. Okay, so for my inks, I pulled out the coffee group. I can't remember what this is called. Coffee blend. I don't remember. But anyway, so I've got espresso and mocha. And of course, I've got everything down below, which is why I don't remember. I should have like a little list of everything here with me. But so we're going to use just the darkest two colors, espresso and mocha today. So as you can tell, we're going to use the Kraft color for the full background. All right, you guys are being, oh, good. I was just going to say, you guys are being really quiet, and that always concerns me a little bit. Like, am I going and I'm frozen everywhere else, or is it okay? So thank you, Sue, for saying something. Oh my gosh, scared me for a minute there. Okay. Let's see. You did an old technique yesterday. You did spot bleach stamping and bleach stamping. Oh, that's cool. You know, to be honest with you, that is one technique that I have never done. Okay, so again, we're doing mocha. Mocha, mocha, mocha. All right, this one didn't stamp so great because I had let it sit on there too long and it started to bead up a little bit. That's all right. It'll look fine when I put the espresso over it. Okay. Where am I going here? This is kind of turned around a little bit differently. There we are. Okay. Coffee break. Yeah, see, coffee blend. See, I couldn't remember. There we go. So this is all I need from our Build-A-Flower. Just the two flowers. Yay! Hello, Christine. So glad you could join us. The way those turned out. Okay, so I'm going to run this through my mini blossom. Yeah, so the coffee inks work really great on the Kraft. They don't blend in much, so you get a really nice vintage look, right? I mean, that's super, super vintage looking. So like going for the whole sepia tone. Actually, the more I look at this, I don't know. I might have gone 2 shades lighter with this. I might have, the darker color on this might be mocha and not espresso, but either way, I think it looks really nice. Super, super. Okay. So I have seen some affiliate sales come through from Picket Fence and from scrapbook.com. So I think some of you guys out there might be picking up your stamp set for August, which is that Picket Fence stamp. And it looks amazing. I started working on some ideas that I'm really excited about. Actually, I'm done with the mini blossom too. So I think you guys will really be excited about those. Okay, so I've got our flowers done. Excuse me, our flowers done. And we're done with the brown inks. So actually, no, I lied. We're done with the espresso, but we'll need the mocha. And the Obsidian will bring back for some sentiments. So let's take a look at the card. So I've got this piece here, and this is done up at 4 3/4 by 3.5. So it's a really small piece. So that way you're going to get like a 1/2 inch border all the way around. Super nice. Oh, Polly, you got it. Oh, so I'm glad that you found a stockist. I love that word, a stockist in the UK there to get it. I did throw out a couple suggestions. I don't know if any of those worked out for you, but I'm glad you were able to get it. Awesome. This Tamp's going to get hers too. So cool. Okay, so Mod Circles from scrapbook.com. They've got some really great stencils. As you know, I'm a stencil fanatic. So let me grab, oh, I do have some tape here. So this one I want to be all across the back. And this one is kind of important to line up. So I will take the time to line up from the back side to make sure that I've got a good pattern going. And that it's square on here. Because that will drive me nuts. Okay. That looks pretty good. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to use my my Altenew blending brush. This one I used red on, but I've washed it, and you can see. And I didn't really spend a lot of time washing it, but I got quite a bit of the ink out of it, and it really washed up well, and it dried super nice. So if you're wondering about their new brushes, it worked out really nice. They're really, really dense, super densely packed. So I'm really happy with the way that these work. Okay. So now I'm going to load this one up with a ton of brown. I figured red and brown to share a brush would be okay until I get a couple more. All right, so this is the Mocha. And I'll get this on here. This brush makes it so easy. And that should be pretty good. I don't need to go from edge to edge. It goes, there's enough on here. All right. Awesome. And we're going to use the stencil again for the tag. So I'll just set that all aside. Now, this is not quite dry. Oh, hi, Susie. Thanks for joining. But I'm going to add in some of the jet black ink spray, and then I'm going to put some black embossing powder right on it. So what's going to happen is, because none of this ink is dry and I am not going to put any anti-static on it, it is actually going to stick a little bit to the ink, which is exactly the look that I'm going for. So this is really going to antique it out. So I've got my ink spray. Any brand will do. I just happen to grab my Altenew one. All right. Don't need to ink spray my hand. Okay, and then while that is still wet, I'm going to put some black. And you can see that it kind of stuck and it kind of didn't. So I can get a little bit more off of there if I want. And then actually, let me clean this up a little bit here. I'll stick my hand in this and then I'll get black all over later, right? Okay. So now you can go ahead and heat this up. Yeah, so this is the look of it. We're going for the distress look here. And this is the kind of thing where if I don't get all of it to melt, that's okay. I'll just wipe it off and it'll look even more distressed. So if I miss a spot, I'm not concerned. All right, so there we go. We got just this black embossing on here now. Just needs to cool down for a minute. All right, now we got to get even more distressed here. Okay, it's a distressing kind of week. No, so I happen to have one of these little razor bladey things, and this one is from Stampin' Up from back in the day. But I know I think Ranger still makes these from the Tim Holtz line. If not, you can use scissors. So I'll show you how to do both. This one just happens to have a whole bunch of little razor blades in it, and they're all the same. It just, there's a whole bunch of them. So you don't have to buy a new tool. It lasts basically forever. And then I just kind of scrape it along the edge. You can do short little choppy motions, or you can do long ones like this. And it's going to just eat up your edge there to give you a distressed edge. Okay, if you don't have one of these, you can use your paper snips. You just need to be careful that you don't dig into the paper too much. So just scrape along the edge like this, and it will give you the same exact look. See, it just kind of roughs up the edge of the paper there. Now, if you happen to go too much and get a cut in there, just stop, pull your scissor out, and then continue on. And then just say it's a part of the look. Because sometimes it is a little rip in there. No big deal. All right. So that's 2 ways to get a distressed look on your edge. And lots of paper fibers all over the place. Yeah. Okay. So if you really wanted to take this up another level of distress, you would just completely crumple this up like this. But you don't have to do this. I didn't do this on the other one, but I'll do it on this one and show you what that looks like. So just now gently kind of mush my paper. Break up those fibers, and then end up with a nice distressed piece of cardstock. All right, lots of good texture on there. You can really see that on the back side, but super nice. All right, and that's just going to go on a card base. So card base, and then a nice piece of red. I really like this red, and I need some glue. All of my glue bottles are running out. Time to pull out a new one. This is Cranberry from Hero Arts. Super thick, super, super thick. Nice and sturdy. All right, and a beautiful shade of red. All right, and then this guy, it feels like leather. It's really cool. The nice thing about doing a distressed look like this is that if it gets a little wonky on your card base, it kind of looks intentional. All right, so there we go. All right. Okay, so I've gotten some strips of cardstock here. Let's get a sentiment on this. I've got all sorts. I could do even like the big greetings with the little seasons. So seasons greetings, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. There's 2 different Merry Christmases on here. This one is a really nice, fine sentiment. But I'll just mimic the one that I did. So, and these have been loved a lot. I like to pair this little sentiment set with all sorts of different stamp sets to make holiday cards. Okay. And of course, this looks great with the Obsidian black. If you need to use your stamp positioner to get a nice square finish, how does that look? That looks good. So these almost need to be like re-stickied, if you will. And the way that I find is best to do that is I will wash them up with some Dawn dish detergent and let them air dry with the good side down. So the sticky side, the side that would stick to your block, is face up so that air dries. And that usually helps to re-stick these really well. Okay, so for the Christmas one, I need to make sure that I'm really way over, because I want this one to come up underneath the flower. Let's see, we've got, cool. Carolyn, thanks for stopping by. And of course, we'll catch you on the replay if you need to drop out. That's the great thing about being out here on YouTube land, is that we can do that. Okay, so now really we're just down to assembly. There are no other big embellishments on this one. So the Christmas will go down like this, and I'll pop my full-size flower right on it. I could pop it up with some foam if I wanted to, or just leave it flat. It looks just as nice flat because, well, just because it does, but then you're saving yourself from having to add extra postage and things like that. So for the Mary, I'm not going to stripe it all the way through, so I'm just going to cut it kind of short. And then I want to line up the sentiments. So like the Y and the S are going to match up. There we go. All right, and then just pop our flower on there. Again, you can pop this one up with some foam dots if you want. But then I'm going to add some of the Greenfields enamel dots, and just these medium-sized ones look really nice on here. And that finishes the sketch. So sometimes when I create a sketch, I do like a little tiny element, and that's usually kind of indicative of an embellishment like this. Sometimes I don't. But there you go. So a really pretty country vintage Christmas card. And again, you can batch this one up. You can do all of your flowers one night. You can do all your die cutting another night. You can do all your sentiments a different night, backgrounds, and then assembly. And before you know it, you'll have all of your Christmas cards done. So look, I got another 2 for my pile. I think by the time I'm done this month, I'll have like 15 holiday cards after I've done all of my live events and such. So that's a pretty good stash to get me started for the season. All right. Hey, Becca. Like I said, I don't take attendance, so it's all right. I did notice that you weren't here, though. Okay, so next let's move on to our tag. And we already have the flower done. So remember, this is, I had that cut off of that extra piece. So I was just kind of using up what I had. I knew I was going to be able to put it on the card in such a way that you wouldn't even notice. So it'll go on like that. And I'll use that flat edge right there to help get that in the right place. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to do the same kind of technique. I'm actually going to use the brown to do some stenciling on this paper. So let's do it up. Okay. So again, I'm going to use my ink blender. I'm going to use the Mocha. All right, guys, I'm really digging this setup today. I'm glad that I've got this kind of worked out with your, I know it looks kind of funny to see me looking up like that, but it's better than looking off to the side all the time. So, and I can see your comments as they pop in. So that works really well. I don't have to keep looking off to the side to see if anyone said anything. And then I can just scroll up and down if I need to, which is super awesome. Okay, so I'm all inked up here. And you're going to see what this looks like, brown on red. It's basically just going to give me a darker shade of red, an antiqued shade of red, I guess. All right, oops, just pop that right back in there. All right, so there you go. It's kind of like using embossing ink. It gives you kind of a tone-on-tone look. So like on this one though, when it dried, it got a little bit of a reddish brown color, which this one might do as well. Okay, so I have, what did I do? Oh, I left it over here. So this is the new die set from Altenew. It's the Terrific Tags die set. You by no means do you have to do a die to make a tag. It helps sometimes, like if you're not good at cutting equal angles on both sides, which, you know, let's face it, we all have that problem sometimes. And then it gives you different sizes. They can kind of nest inside of each other. So, and then on one style is without a flagged end, and the other style is with a flagged end. So, and this is what will get people if they're trying to cut something with a flagged end. Sometimes that's kind of hard to do. All right, but these are nice to have. Now, I always wondered why sometimes there are dies that are completely filled in, and I found out why. So when you die cut like something like this, sometimes you get that extra little, well, you do. Where did that piece, the scrap piece go? So you'll get that extra little border kind of cut. I guess it's on this one, like the border cut around it. You'll see like that little indent. If you have a full panel metal like this, you don't get that extra indent from when it gets cut out from the die cut machine. So it gives you a nice flat, even surface. So there is a reason why sometimes dies are made solid like this. Okay, so this is the largest tag in the set. So it's going to make this size tag. So let's see what size we're talking about here. We've got, it is 2.5 inches by 1, 2, 3, 4 by 4.5. Okay, so this is the largest one. It is 2.5 by 4.5. All right, so that means you can't quite get it on a quarter sheet of cardstock. But if I wanted to do like a 2-for-1, I could cut this out kind of at an angle here. And then I can use this background piece with the tag die cut in it as the top piece for like a shaker card or a layer for another card or something like that. So, so let's do that, which means I'm going to have to run this through my other die cut machine. This will obviously fit through the mini blossom. Not if you have it on a full sheet of cardstock though. So I'm just going to run over here and run this through my Gemini. All right. Okay. Yay. I'm so glad you got your Altenew stuff. That's awesome. Okay, so isn't that beautiful? I mean, that is just a gorgeous tag. And again, this is that Hero Arts cardstock, and it's a really, really nice weight. I want to say that this is closer to 100-pound cardstock than 80. And so it's a super nice weight cardstock. So if you're going to make tags from it, it's nice and sturdy. I like it a lot. And it comes in all sorts of great colors. All right. Yeah, the solid die thing was a revelation to me. I'm like, oh, I guess that makes sense. If you don't want to have that little, because see, like I've got it on this part here. There's that little lip, but I don't have it on the actual tag. So now if you don't want to spring for tag dies, of course you can trace them out and or just cut them to the right length and then just cut your corners. If you're just going to do a triangled off end, an angled end like this, that's not too hard to do. I've done it plenty of times before. Then you just need to do a hole on the top. All right, so I'll set this aside. All right, so again, really just doing kind of the same technique. So on this one, the again, the ink is not dry. And I've got my jet black. And I've got some big splotches on there this time, which is kind of cool. And we'll just heat it up. So, Ms. Tam, I would recommend looking at companies that have assortment packs, so that way you can try out some of their paper without having to invest in getting 25 sheets of the same paper. So like Concord and Ninth, they just came out with their Concord and Ninth, they just came out with their new colors, and we were talking about that last week. They do have a variety pack of their paper. So that's definitely one to look into to see if you like it. All right. So there we go. A little bit of distress action going on there. Okay. So I'm going to pop my flower down here in the bottom, and I can just attach that right away. Although, I know plenty of people that get by with using the value packs of paper from Michael's or wherever. It's all kind of a personal preference what you want to do. If you're doing a specific technique, I think you definitely want to invest in the right paper for the techniques, like watercolor paper, or if you're doing Copic coloring, you'll definitely want to have a nice smooth cardstock like a Nina Solar White or the Accent Opaque 80-pound that I like to use, or Express It cardstock. Those are instances where you want to have the right kind of cardstock for what you're doing. But as far as color paper, it just depends on what you like. If you like the texture and the colors that a variety pack from Michael's offers, then great, go for it. So that's my take. Let's see, Becca. So you must be out on Stamp Junkies because I saw that too. Yeah. So embossing powder may or may not have a shelf life. I've never had a problem with it. I suspect that the woman that was having a problem with the embossing powder was using a glitter powder, and it wasn't really embossing powder, but I don't know. I didn't ever see the rest of the thread. So I couldn't tell you. I've not had a problem with embossing powder. I guess sometimes maybe it doesn't melt as nicely because it's been around for a while. I bet if you lived in a place where maybe you didn't have as great temperature control, like it got humid and it started to clump together a little bit, that maybe you would have problems with it. But I've never had a problem with my embossing powder not melting properly. So yeah, I think the susceptibility to humidity is the key thing there. I think what I did here, I don't think you guys can tell this, but I think I overheated it because it really melts it into the paper. And that can be another thing too. You can over melt your embossing powder, and basically what happens is the waxes from it suck into the paper and you end up with a matte finish, which is actually what happened here. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see if I can show you guys what that looks like, because I did it on this one. There wasn't a lot of embossing powder on here to begin with, and I let it heat up a whole lot. So let's see if I can get it to focus. But you see how there's really not a lot of shine like there should be with an embossing. Come on, focus, focus. There we go. So you see how there's not a lot of shine? That's because I overheated it and it really sucked into the paper. There's a little bit of shine on the little spot there, but not a whole lot. So it's possible that she was overheating. Let's see. Yeah. So it won't bubble or bump. It'll just suck into the paper. It still leaves a really cool texture though, as far as like the coloring. It's really nice. So I don't mind, but if I wanted a glossy look, I would be kind of disappointed. This one I didn't overheat and I got a nice glossy gloss. All right. So that's what I think about embossing powder. And I've had some embossing powder for a long time. Usually what I do is like in this container, when I start running low, I just buy another container of it and I just dump it right in and mix what I have together. So this is actually a mix of probably 3 or 4 different brands of embossing powder, and I don't have any problem with it. Shh, don't tell. Okay, so let's get, okay, so this is the one that I did the stamp surgery on, the Happy Holidays. So see, they can go together, but I cut them in half. So if you ever need to stamp them together, you would just kind of get them onto your stamp pad or your stamping block or your stamp positioner. Just make sure you get them fit right back together, and then you won't have any problem with that. Stamp surgery is an okay thing. Okay, so these little strips I had to cut a little bit wider. So on the card, these strips are 1/2 inch. And these are, let's see, 5/8 of an inch. Because the scripty font, they were just a little bit taller. Okay, so I'm not really happy with the way that's stamped. I must have got too much ink on that. Let's try that again. Good thing I have plenty of cardstock. There we go. See, I stamp and restamp and stamp again sometimes. All right. So I have some of my thread left over from, I think we used this last time, didn't we? And so I just need to pull out. I already used one piece from it, so I just need to grab the another one. There we go. Okay, so this can get a little tricky. Actually, I remember what I did here. So I'm going to put some foam on here. And instead of trying to get them behind both, what I'm going to do is, okay, so I took off the foam backings or the adhesive backings on there. Did you see that? It like just grabbed up and onto my, onto my hand. Couldn't do that again if I tried. Okay, so I've got that all wrapped around. Stay, be good. Okay. And I'm going to take it in this little round here and I'm going to twist it. Come on, twist, you know you want to. And just attach it. All right, and then I'm going to futz with this one to get some of them to go down. Down, there we go. I'm not going to put any underneath this one. I'm just going to do it all off of the happy. So grab my little ends. So that's good. And then I got a little holidays. I'm going to line up my left sides here. That's it. And I don't, you know, I like that it's gone over the flower. It gives it some dimension. And there we go. Cute little tag. Now I won't put this tag on just any gift. You know, it's going to go on a gift to somebody that really matters, that will really enjoy having a gift tag like that. I know people that make tags like this and then they just put them on their Christmas tree. So that would work. Or if I wanted to, I could put it on a card. That would work out really nice. That's kind of stark with the white on there, but you know, some kind of something layered like that would be really nice. So if you didn't want to use this as a tag, you could use it for any number of different things. You could use it as an embellishment in a journal or scrapbook. Again, as a decoration, any kind of thing. Any kind of thing. All right, guys. Woohoo! It is 4:48, and honestly, that's our two projects for today. So because we did a tag instead of a card, it didn't take as long, right? So I do have this piece here that I could turn into a shaker. And I really, my brain is just kind of fried today. So I'm going to set this aside. And if I come up with something, I'll post it out on social media and let you guys know what I make with this little piece. Anyway, so what'd you guys think? Two more fun designs using our Build a Flower Begonia, our stamp focus set. All right, if you haven't seen yet, what did I do with? I was going to pull out. All right, so if you haven't seen the August stamp focus stamp set, it is this one here, Face the Sun by Picket Fence. And Paula, if you've got a good stockist in the UK for this one, pop it in the comments. Actually, pop it in the regular comments, not in the live comments here. So that way, if anyone else needs to get one from the UK, they can. So this is the stamp set we'll be using next month. And next week, let me flip up here. Next week is our last week with the Build a Flower Begonia, and we're going to do stamping on fabric. It might be a quick week. I only have one project done up for it so far, so it might be a quick week. It might not. We'll see how it goes. But that'll be it for Build a Flower Begonia. And like I said, I used it so much in the last month that I really feel like I got a lot of use out of the stamp set. So if you guys go back and take a look at those and you grab the sketches as soon as I get those posted and things like that, you'll have tons of ideas to use with that stamp set, and lots of opportunity to create some really great things with it and feel like you've really got your money's worth out of a stamp set that you've purchased. So that's all I've got. Don't forget to share this out on social media and invite your friends to come and hang out with us on Thursdays, because I love to see you guys out here. The more the merrier. I've got all of the products that we use today in the description below, and those are affiliate links. So those do help me fund this craft education channel. I appreciate it when you do use them. I get a small commission if you use those links to shop. It's at no additional cost to you. So thank you so much for your support in all of our crafty endeavors here. I am super glad. I'm just looking at the notes here. So the UK stockist was to die for. Okay, yep, great. I'm glad they had it. Ms. Tam, I have not posted the paper yet. I've got a package of like 25 sheets. Does that sound like a good number of sheets that you would want to get? And just as a reminder, so it is the paper that I use for my card bases and my my 80-pound cardstock that I'm using for like stamping and coloring. It is by Accent. It's called Accent Opaque, and I like it better than the Nina Solar White because it's even whiter than Nina Solar White and it's cheaper. So I'm thinking about packs of 25. Let me know if you think that that is a good number of sheets for you guys, and then I'll pop those out onto my store so you guys can grab that. Otherwise, you're buying it in reams, and if that's not in your budget, then this will save you a little bit. Or if you don't have room to store, 250 or 200 sheets of cardstock, then, I totally get that too. Okay, cool. So I'll try to get those out this week so that way you can order it if you want. And like I said, next week we'll be going into our last week with Build a Flower Begonia. So thanks for stopping by today. And I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Stay happy, stay safe, stay crafty. And I will see you here next Thursday. So thanks for stopping by, guys, and have a great weekend.